It is a shocking statistic, but there are over 5,000 children on the homeless register in Ireland right now. 5,000. They're often left detached from their community and maybe don't have a chance to engage with GAA or football clubs or even their school. And my next guest is someone who is bringing a bit of community into their lives from Little Fitness. It is Sinead Ryan. Morning, Sinead. How are things?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Thanks.
All right, so tell us, how did all this start? What exactly is Little Fitness?
So Little Fitness, we are a social enterprise. So it's a fun, inclusive educational fitness programme for children living in homeless services and who come up against barriers within their community.
Okay, and so did you set the business up specifically with that intention, or had you already got a fitness business going before that?
I didn't set it up to be a social entrepreneur or social enterprise. I was just teaching 3 or 4 classes in the mornings, and what had actually happened was 2 young boys come into my class, visibly upset, struggling. When I asked them to jump, one of them actually said to me, "I can't jump," and I actually was blown away by it. So it's like, okay, what's happening here? And then the sibling was, "Please, I don't want to run." And usually 4 and 5-year-olds,
they're bouncing
hectic.
off the walls.
Yeah,
and
it's hectic. But these kids really got to me because they actually were saying they can't do it. And it was after the class then when I was talking to the Montessori teacher. I said, "What's the story with the boys?" And she was like, "Oh, they're homeless, Sinead. They live in emergency accommodation." And I was like, what? So literally left going, what the heck is emergency accommodation? So this was 2019. And went home, Googled it, looked at the numbers, and at the time there was 2,242 children in emergency accommodation. So that was 2019, and as you said, now we're at 5,000. And I was like, oh my God, is there children living in these services not accessing programs? Like, what's going on? So I linked in with a service. I actually linked in with Crosscare in Clonliff and just told them what I saw, told them what I had, obviously back to Little Fitness. But would we be able to engage the children? Would we be able to engage the parents? And, you know, the team there were like, yes, we need something, because some of these children possibly aren't accessing school, aren't going to school. And a lot of the time, some of the children aren't leaving their rooms or going outside the services. So we piloted in there. And that's just, where it went. So from there, you know, unfortunately, we went into the pandemic, but the pandemic was good and bad for me because it gave me the option and it gave me the chance to do a bit of research, connect with more organisations, let them know, because it was needed before the pandemic, but it was very much needed since the pandemic.
Then,
And the reality is some of the children that we had in our pilot are still living in emergency accommodation. So that's 6-7 years, you know. So when we would have gone in, it would have been a year or 2. So
sorry, like when you say that, so kids that you would have met, young kids, when you piloted the programme, and they're still living in emergency accommodation.
Yeah.
Like, that is frightening.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think
but that's the reality for so many families.
That's the reality, and the reality for these families and kids that, you know, we don't want families on the streets. We don't want them living in cars, but we need to do more and we need to do better. And I think for what Little Fitness is doing, it's not just the physical side, it's the mental, it's the well-being, and also it's a positive person, it's a positive adult, bringing structured, fun physical activity to them where necessarily they don't get.
And what do you do with them, Sinead? And what sort of response are you getting from the kids who now have kind of a newfound fitness?
Yeah, so really what we do is show them, actually bringing the programme to them is like a fitness programme, but adapted through kids using bean bags, different children's equipment, but we also use like warm-up skills, muscles, you know, because just giving them little nuggets, because not everybody likes physical activity, and also you're meeting children that are very vulnerable and also mightn't feel that they're good enough, and a lot of the time that can happen. So it's giving them different things, that it's not just about the movement side, it's about the social side, it's about understanding like little elements of a warm-up, understanding little things in relation to fitness, skills, muscles. And our muscles, as you grow, they stay the same. There's still a bicep, you still have you know, your lats. So
and as you said, it's so important that kids move, and movement is so key for their physical development, but more so I would say with a lot of the kids that you work with, it is feeling that like I am good enough, I am able, I can do this.
Yeah, it's huge. And not only that, I think, you know, the parents to realise that their kids are good enough.
Yeah.
You know, the parents to realise actually, they're going through a difficult time, but actually, no, my child should be part of this program and should be able to do things and should be able to and be doing physical activity and being in the community. And the reality is for us, we're kind of that linkage, because we do lead into communities and help them, you know, with linking with community groups. But the reality is a lot of the time you find the families don't leave the services.
Also, I would imagine as well that you found that once you develop a relationship with children and a trust, and you are that person, and Little Fitness can be that kind of, you know, that sense of trust that they might need. Even coming into schools, they might get lost in the school classroom a little bit, but actually having your core group, something that they feel a part of,
and
is
that,
important.
like, that's huge, and it's huge because as well we work in some of the schools within the northeast inner city, and we have had crossover, and what that does for the children that are coming in is the confidence. Actually, I know them. You know, they see our logo, they see our jumpers, and they know that we've seen them in their after school. And that's the thing, it's their after school. They should have, all children should have after school and be able to go and play and have a free play and be able to do that. And that's what we do when we provide that to be kids. And that's all you want them to be able to do, is to be kids. But going into school is huge, because the linkage between us and school is allowing them to see that actually something positive is happening in school. And I will go in, do you know the way. And look, all children need that. Everybody isn't just, you know, academic. There's other elements that we need in the schools, and you know, it's great that we are there, that we can provide, and we are having crossover, which is lovely.
Speaking of community, you were lucky to be involved in the Visa She's Next campaign back in 2024. So tell us how that came into being, and I suppose, did you ever think that you would be a social entrepreneur?
No, I mean, this has just been a gradual process. I didn't understand what social enterprise and social entrepreneurship was, but I think for the Visa She's Next award, when I was applying for it, I was like, oh, why would Visa be looking at me? I'm a social entrepreneur. This is a social enterprise. It's not really commercial. So I applied because actually, you know, a few people were like, you just apply. And you're like, okay, I'll just apply. And you know, to be one of the awardees was phenomenal. And also on a personal level, on a business level, I never considered myself as a businesswoman. So getting that award, the conversations with people, the judges, you know, at the event, people recognising what you were doing, and then I was like, actually, I am a businesswoman. Like this is, you know, another level. Which
you know, there's a lovely correlation to what you've just said about the kids that you work with. You know, sometimes it just takes somebody to see that in you.
100%.
Yeah,
and like it's funny because I always think, you know, when I say that, it's like there is that correlation, because we're there bringing confidence, resilience, strength to these children. But as a businesswoman, you need that as well, like, you know. So, but it was huge for me. And then for the business itself, it was recognising and being able to share what Little Fitness was doing within the communities, but also being supported by numerous people that had heard about us then after that, which is huge. And I think it's open now. The Visa She's Next Awards are open now, and they're closing on the 9th of April. And I'd highly recommend any businesswoman out there listening to me, or any social entrepreneur, social enterprises out there, listen to me, apply. You know, there's great opportunities there with the mentors. There's new mentors that are coming on with Bríd O'Donoghue, Gra Mullins, and then this year again they have Amy Connolly. Amazing support, amazing network women. Opportunities. And then also that mentoring side is huge, but then also the financial side. There's an opportunity with 90,000 award money there, and to get your business
up and running, or bring it to the next level.
But also bringing another element to it. So even for us, we sold hats. Like, we'd no merch. We sold hats on our website, so people were able to support programs for us. So last year we ran 5 programs, summer camps, on the back of that, in different services on the north and south side of Dublin. So we were able to meet over 100 kids during the summer on the back of selling our beanie hats, you know.
Love
so
it.
That all stemmed from the Visa She's Next award, like, you know. So
all right, and listen, as Sinead said, you can find out more littlefitness.ie. That is your website, and you are doing incredible things. Cheers. And fair play to you. And then for anybody who's interested in finding out more about the Visa She's Next program, visa.ie, all the information is there. Sinead Ryan, you're a legend. Keep doing what you're doing. We love to hear it. Anybody that can help kids like that from a physical and mental health perspective is a winner in my eyes. So thanks for coming in and
Cheers.
chatting to us
Thanks
this
so
morning.
much.